Today we are going to upgrade the hard lines out of my compressor, so we can do that. Check it out. It is Tuesday, the third day after Labor Day, and check it out. I've got some plumbing supplies here, and we're going to plumb in an extra air line over here on my bench. Currently, the far corner there is where my air line is. I've got a dryer and a regulator there, and I just have to sort of snake hose all over my floor. And I originally planned to have a workstation here with air. So when I plumbed in my compressor originally, I just put this line up here. You know, the common belief is the steel lines and the copper lines will let heat out of the air, which helps with the moisture problems. And what I did, when I did this, I was marginally intelligent. I put a coupler right there, and I put a union, I don't know if you guys can see that, right down there. And then I've got a rubber flex hose here. So I can take that flex hose off, and what I was going to do is put a T in here and work my way around the corner or something like that. But I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to put the T right here. So I'll have this rubber whip. Actually, I said that wrong. I'll put the T on the back end of the valve here. So on this side, I'll put a T, and I'll take the whip off for one side, and then I'll take a whip off for the other side. So what I'll do here, and I know I got a bunch of junk in the way, this will all move. I'm going to run a vertical leg down, just like this one, vertical leg down, and we'll tie into the compressor. Then I'm going to run across around the corner. I'm going to come down in this corner, and then I'll tee here with a drain cock, and then we'll have a line that comes across. We'll come up for our dryer and regulator and outlet right there. So it'll be similar to this one right here. Sorry, again, junk in the way. But you can see I've got a T down there, and I've got a drain cock on the bottom of that. And then I come up for the air, and that again is just to get all the moisture to roll back to everywhere but in your line. It helps tremendously, but it doesn't take all the moisture out, but it does take a tremendous amount of it out, catching it, you know, just sort of before it hits your stuff. So I have all the little sub-assemblies here. This is my riser here. I've got my drain cock here, and I just took off the T because I was going to start taping it. And then I've got my dryer, regulator, riser all put together here. So these are just dry fit right now. I'm going to go through with I like the yellow plumbing tape. This is high pressure stuff, so I really like this a lot better than the white. It seems to not have the leaks. So now I will put a pipe wrench on these before I call them tight, but we're getting everything snugged up just to make sure everything fits. Taking a quick peek here at the riser for the dryer, and the dryer's 3/8, and the riser, all of the piping is 1/2 inch. You can't really buy 3/8, at least not around here. I'm sure you can buy it somewhere, but anyway, they do make a 1/2 inch to 3/8 elbow there, so then you can just swap over to a 3/8 inch nipple and go right in without having a big bushing or something there. So just a quick little hint there. I've used that little trick a couple of times. I think they even have like a 3/8 to 1/4 inch if you get into that situation. I think I have one of those somewhere here in the garage. So I got to come out of this 3/8 and into this 1/4 inch regulator. So I've got a bushing there to take her down. Just you know, kind of showing this for the guys who may not have done this before, but there's different size bushings, and you know, 1/2 inches. There's another one right there. There's another bushing. I did actually buy that one, although I know I've got one somewhere. I just couldn't put my hands on it. That's for the drain cock there. So little hint here you got to start at one end or the other end on when you're plumbing things and doing this rigid pipe. So we're going to start on this end. I'm going to put my regulator and my dryer exactly where I want them, and then I'm going to work backwards and get over to here where I have my flexible line, because that's where it's going to take up all the slack, is the flex line. So you always got to start at one end, and you can't start in the middle. If you do start, or if you want to start in the middle and you have no other way to do it, then you got to use unions. And sometimes, from what I've seen, sometimes there's no way to avoid a union, because you'd have to spin a piece of 12-foot pipe or something around, and you just can't do that. So there are places where sometimes you do have to use a union, but I am not a plumber. I suck at plumbing. There are guys who do a beautiful job at it, and I'm always jealous about it because it's such a neat talent to have, but I'm definitely not that guy. So much respect out there to all the plumbers. Well, it just may not work, you know, I don't know, whatever.
Well, let's see what we got here. We might have bigger clips to hold it against the wall. That's the whole issue, right?
Here we go, we're doing some fit up here. We got everything on the front line there. We got one more measurement to make. So we're going to set this up against the wall and then make the final measurement there into the corner. And that'll be all for our pre-assembly after this last piece goes in there. Right, Dad?
Hey, I want your meatloaf.
Watch out. It's coming, Luke. Go ahead.
Got about 3 more threads to go.
Yep. Ooh, I had a couple extra parts right there. Actually, there's another piece of pipe right there that we didn't wind up using. So, you know, which is cool. Probably could have saved myself a couple bucks at the store or something, but that's what we wound up with. I did have it coming down at a 90 and going into this retainer there, and I didn't like the way it was draining. The hose was too long. I had to have that hose made. So anyway, we got a union up there so we can take this all back apart someday. Got our union back in place here. We put a T there, so that's the old existing line. So we had to undo it at the union, put in the T, and then hook it back up at the union. So very, very smart. Glad I put that in there. You can't do it any other way. You can't twist this hose on without a union. It doesn't work. The hose won't do that. So another union right there, same thing, end of the line. Got to have one. Let's see, don't rupture. There we go. Yeah, looking solid. This we're gonna have to put a standoff back there. So I got a little bit more room to do, but we'll take a peek up there. There's the riser there. We drop down. Here's a little drain cock here. I like this kind right here. They seem to work really well, and then this will hold an awful lot of water before it fills up and goes back in the line. This line is tipped down, excuse me, toward that. That line tips down back toward the tank. And then we have our little riser here. We have a little pop off here for water. So we got our separator. Then a little regulator here. Let's see if that works. Hasn't been used in eons. So we'll put this at maybe like 70 pounds. I don't know. We can regulate our airbrush with it, I guess. Speaking of which, we might as well pop this sucker in and just see what happens. Whoops, hang on, I'm trying to do this one-handed, operating cameras. We on? We're showing pressure. I want to regulate this guy way down. I like that. 40 pounds maybe. And maybe we come up a little bit. So there's our 40. Holding steady at 40, holding a good stream. Looking good there. Everything looks good, good. Just got, like I say, one last thing to do, and we'll be styling. Then I got to put all this mess back together so the wife can park in the garage tonight. So anyway, next project is going to be the shelves, getting those cleaned off. I kind of like this look right here, but I know we've got a bunch of crap, but we're getting rid of a bunch of tires. Chassis is probably going to go in the trash. Yep. Hopefully nobody wants anything. I'm going to strip off all the good parts, but anyhow, there we go. That's it. That is it for the compressor upgrade. Don't watch me, folks.